Okay, let's go.
What's up, guys? It's Justin with Anxious Alpha here. Today I want to talk about anxiety in men. I feel like there is not enough people talking about anxiety in men. When you look up anything that has to do with anxiety, 80 to 90% of the results you get pertain to women. Anxiety is a lot different for men. I'm not going to say that it's easier or it's worse for women, but it is a lot different for men. Where us as men are held up to the standard of providing, taking care of, and when you're in an anxious environment or you're dealing with anxious thoughts, you don't feel like you're performing at your best. You feel like you're weak. You feel like you're not holding up to that masculine expectation from everyone. And it sucks. I think about it all the time. Sometimes it's discouraging just thinking about it. And it's really not emasculating. A lot of men that deal with anxiety, really all it is, especially in generalized anxiety disorder, all it is a hypersensitivity to your body creating adrenaline or your body going into fight or flight mode. Some people deal with it differently, and it's really what brings on those anxious thoughts. As a man, when you're having an anxiety attack or a panic attack, it's really hard to get your mind straight. But one thing that you got to remember is that it does not make you weak. The only thing that would make you weak is giving up. Us as men, we're not supposed to give up. We're supposed to keep fighting and taking care of the people in our lives and taking responsibility for everything. That includes any mental health issues that you deal with, anxiety, stress, anger. It's your job to take care of that stuff and be there for the people that need you. I know as a man it could be hard as hell to admit that you have anxiety or panic disorder or really any kind of mental illness. And I really don't like the fact that it's considered a mental illness, because it just makes you feel like you're crazy or your brain doesn't work right or anything like that. But really, it's not. It doesn't make you crazy. It doesn't make you act any sort of different way or make you unhinged or anything of that sort. Really, all it is your body overreacting to adrenaline or your fight or flight response. And it's nothing that is, dangerous to anybody. So for that reason, I don't really like that it's considered a mental illness, because when I think of mental illness, I think of something is not right with them. They're crazy. The bottom line is that anxiety doesn't make you crazy. It doesn't make you any less of a man. And the big determining factor on how your anxiety plays out is how you deal with it. And there's a lot of different tools to deal with your anxiety. And as I've mentioned in my other videos, fitness is a big one. And there's a lot more research that I am currently trying to do as far as supplementation, vitamins, things that could be off in your body, that even just the smallest adjustment in your nutrition or supplements can majorly impact how often your anxiety shows, how often your anxiety impacts you, and how severe it can be. So hopefully the more that I learn, the more that I can teach you guys and share with you guys, and we can all learn together. And I'd like to create a community of men that can support each other that deal with anxiety or panic disorder, because it's so hard to find communities or chats of just men that talk about anxiety or share what they deal with. Because whenever I search it or I look for a group that I can talk to about stuff, it's all female. And nothing against females, but it's hard to be a man surrounded by women that talk to it, because it just makes us feel like it's more of an emasculine trait. It doesn't make you feel, it might help your anxiety, but then it makes you feel a little weak. And that's not really it doesn't really help us as much as we hope it will. I know that there are a lot more men than people think that deal with anxiety, whether you're just graduating high school, you're in your early 20s, late 20s, even into your 30s. I know people that are in their late 30s that deal with this sort of thing, and really it sucks at any age, but the older you get, I feel like the worse it is, because you have so much more responsibility outside of just taking care of your anxiety. So if you're younger, you don't really have to worry. You still have to worry, but not as much. You have school, you're getting your first job, and it's a lot easier to take care of it compared to if you're in your late 20s or early 30s and you're starting out in life, you're buying a house, you're getting married, you're having kids. It's a lot harder to deal with anxiety when you have all of that stuff going on, because it adds stress, and stress is an extremely high trigger for anxiety. The more stressed out you are, if you have anxiety disorder or panic disorder, the more stress that you deal with, the worse that anxiety is. And that's one of the biggest things that I struggled with, is stress from my job, stress from moving out. It made my anxiety a lot worse. And being on the medication that I'm on helped a lot with that, but really it was only a mask. It made those anxiety attacks a lot less severe, immobilizing, but there's a lot of long-term side effects that are potential the longer that you're on it. And I'm trying to get off of it, and I just know that it's not the healthiest way to deal with anxiety. There's got to be a root cause. There's got to be something that is off in your body, and I know that there is something that you can do for your body as far as supplementation, vitamins, fitness, something that is chemically off in your body that you can just make a minor adjustment to and see a world of difference. I know today didn't really have a call to action in this video, but if you liked this video and you want to see more, please like and subscribe, and watch out for a Discord channel that I'm going to work on creating that allows men to connect and talk about anxiety and how to get over those feelings of feeling weak and emasculine and get our lives back on track.